Are you curious to know what two of the most powerful world leaders discussed when they met in the Kremlin Palace? The historic meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping was one for the books. After hosting a 7-course private dinner for 4.5 hours the night before, Putin met Xi in the Grand Kremlin Palace to discuss key topics between the two countries. As Xi walked up the opulent red-carpeted staircase of the palace, guards snapped to attention. Waiting to greet him in St. George's Hall, the two leaders entered the room in a tightly choreographed ceremony that was filled with imperial grandeur. The summit focused on exploring the possibilities of furthering the already strong relationship between Russia and China. Putin and Xi discussed a number of issues, including the ongoing Ukraine conflict, security and military cooperation, energy cooperation, and economic cooperation. Both leaders agreed that the relationship between the two countries had the potential to expand and reach new heights. It was clear during the summit that both countries are determined to strengthen and foster their relationship to benefit both nations. They understand that by collaborating together, they can achieve far more than they would by working independently. Putin and Xi discussed the potential for increased economic, political, and military cooperation between the two countries. This summit clearly indicated that the two countries were ready and willing to explore the unlimited possibilities of their relationship. They understand that by working together, they can create a powerful and influential alliance that could benefit both countries and the world as a whole. Join us by sharing the video and subscribing to the channel as we explore the 5 key takeaways from the Putin-Xi Summit and what this could mean for the future of global politics. Putin and Xi's historic summit, entering a new era. Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping recently met for a 2-day summit at the Kremlin. The talks were full of pomp and ceremony, with both leaders expressing confidence in their relationship and promising to build on it for mutual benefit. Putin stated that cooperation between the two countries has truly unlimited possibilities and prospects, and the two toasted the prosperity of their respective people at a state dinner. This summit marks a significant moment for both countries, especially for Putin, who is currently facing an International Criminal Court arrest warrant for the unlawful deportation of Ukrainian children. China expert Alexander Gabwev believes this verdict may have increased China's leverage over Russia, as Xi Jinping cannot be embarrassed by meeting with Putin, and the verdict puts Putin deeper into his pocket. The summit has been considered a major success, with both leaders expressing a desire to work together to make the world a better place and strengthen ties between their countries. They discussed economic cooperation, military collaboration, international politics, and the importance of maintaining peace and stability in the region. In the end, Putin and Xi celebrated their progress during their meeting and lauded their new era of relations. They both spoke about the importance of launching a new cooperation and mutual understanding era between the two countries and their people. They also expressed a commitment to continue to work and build upon their relationship to benefit their countries and the world, exploring possible solutions to the Ukraine conflict. At the recent summit in Moscow, Presidents Putin and Xi discussed the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. President Xi called for a dialogue over the conflict, emphasizing the need for all countries to respect each other's legitimate concerns. The two leaders also signed a joint declaration that sought to end the escalation of tension in the region and prevent the conflict from getting out of control. President Putin praised China's peace initiative for Ukraine, stating that it could form the basis of any future settlement if Russia and the West are ready for it. However, there has been no readiness from either side as of yet. The joint statement from the summit echoed language from China's 12-point paper, calling for dialogue and warning against bloc confrontation and unilateral sanctions. Despite the agreement between the two leaders, no solutions were presented to tie Putin's hands militarily. Ukraine will not agree to any settlement that fails to restore its captured territory, and the West is unwilling to lift sanctions against Russia. Therefore, Putin can agree to China's plan in the knowledge it is not likely to move forward without any unexpected diplomatic breakthroughs. The Ukraine conflict has been ongoing for several years and has resulted in a great deal of destruction and suffering. In order to bring peace to the region, it is essential that all countries involved are willing to come to the table and work together to reach a mutually beneficial agreement. Don't miss out on this must-see video. Watch now to discover the key takeaways from the Putin-Xi Summit and explore the unlimited possibilities they present. Share and subscribe to get more updates like this. Strengthening security and military cooperation. The relationship between Russia and China is one of the most important bilateral ties in the world today. Since the beginning of the 21st century, the two countries have been working together to strengthen their security and military cooperation. Recently, during the Moscow summit between the two countries, the presidents of Russia and China, Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping, signed a declaration that expressed their mutual concern about NATO's growing presence in Asia and their belief that the U.S. was undermining global security. The declaration also called on the U.S. to cease undermining international and regional security and global strategic stability to preserve its unilateral military advantage. Moreover, the two countries declared their intention to conduct joint military exercises regularly and expand their cooperation in military forces. These steps towards greater security and military cooperation between the two countries represent an important step in strengthening the modern world order and the future of mankind. In a world where security is a major concern, it is important to see two nations coming together and committing to protecting their citizens and their interests. It is important to remember that the relationship between Russia and China is one of the most important bilateral ties in the world today, and their efforts to strengthen their security and military cooperation will only benefit the global community. Expanding energy cooperation. At the recent Putin-Xi Summit in Moscow, the two leaders discussed the potential for a closer energy partnership between Russia and China, with an aim to support companies from both countries in advancing cooperation projects in oil, gas, coal, electricity, and nuclear energy. Russia's President Vladimir Putin spoke about the possibility of redirecting Russia's energy supplies to Asia due to Western sanctions and said that Moscow could meet Beijing's growing demand for energy resources. Putin also announced the agreement of the Power of Siberia 2 gas pipeline, which will send Russian natural gas to China via Mongolia. Russian energy giant Gazprom reported that it set a daily record in gas volume supplied to China through the existing Power of Siberia pipeline. The two leaders also agreed to expand bilateral trade, cooperate in energy and food security, and develop rail and other cross-border logistics infrastructure. This energy cooperation is a significant development for both countries and could potentially bring many benefits, such as increasing energy security, improving access to energy resources, and creating jobs in the energy sector. By working together, Russia and China could potentially become an even greater force in the global energy industry. Promoting economic cooperation. This summit focused on promoting economic cooperation between Russia and China. Russia has been struggling with multiple rounds of sanctions from the West, and President Putin said that expanding economic partnerships is a priority. At the summit, the two leaders signed a declaration to work together to develop key areas of economic cooperation through 2030. Key areas of cooperation, according to Putin, include agriculture, IT, and artificial intelligence, and using the Chinese yuan in trade with Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Putin noted that increasing trade in energy and resources is also an important collaboration area. Xi Jinping also spoke positively about the summit and mentioned that the two countries need to continue comprehensive planning at the highest level. While both countries are eager to pursue economic cooperation, analysts warn that there are limits to the relationship. China will not want to risk its relationship with the West by getting too close to Russia. Overall, this summit was a great opportunity for Russia and China to discuss ways to increase economic cooperation and collaboration between the two nations. With the right strategies in place, both countries could benefit in many ways and become world leaders in certain sectors. The Putin-Xi Summit has opened the door to unlimited possibilities. By exploring solutions to the Ukraine conflict, strengthening security and military cooperation, expanding energy cooperation, and promoting economic cooperation, these two global leaders are paving the way for a new era of collaboration and progress. We are excited to see what else the future holds. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel to get the latest updates on this historic summit.